Hi everyone, it's Maz from Spurs Corner with an instant match reaction of Tottenham Hotspur versus Fulham. Oh, big sigh, what can I say? Losing 2-1 and playing in the way we did, even with Kudus's brilliant individual goal. Oh, it's just absolutely awful. So I've made notes, knowing that I had to do this instant match reaction today. I was hoping for a win, obviously, but with the way things are going with the team and Thomas Frank at the moment, wins are few and far between. I believe we conceded, is it 11 goals now or 12 goals now in the last few games? So not good. And stats worse than Ange. So he will get the same treatment from me and the Spurs corner guys, as I'm sure a lot of you will give to him in the same way we did to Ange. Team was rotated a little bit again. Gray came, kept his place. Paulinho came in. Bergval kept his place. Sarr was out of the team. Mawani, Richarlison, Kudus. It was, I mean, on the screen it was more of a 4-2-2-2. To me, it looked like more like a 4-2-3-1 with Mawani sort of floating around, supporting Richarlison when needed, and again with Frank Ball that sort of morphs into a 4-3-3 in the first half with Bergval sort of hugging that left touchline area and floating around a little bit as well. Um, I think VDV as a captain was a I suppose the best move that they could have made in terms of the captaincy, with Romero being out due to yellow cards. I didn't see much leadership, if I'm honest with you, in the first half from Van der Ven. I think he had a poor first half by his standards. I mean, he wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. The first goal after 2-3 minutes was just diabolical. I've written down here that it was poor positioning by Bergval. To be honest with you, I mean, if he is playing in that 4-2-3-1 formation, then where's the two midfielders? Where are they in that defensive move? Why isn't Gray and Paulinho there covering that back four and sweeping things up? Why is it Bergval's responsibility to be back there? So again, I'm not that impressed with the tactics from Frank in this game, and I'm not saying it was solely Bergval's fault, because I think Porro made the mistake earlier in that move. But my God, his positioning was poor, and obviously he got wrong-footed, and the ball went past him, and Fulham scored a good goal, but a deflected goal, nevertheless. And then the onslaught ensued, right? So Vicario, God knows what he's doing. I mean, he had so much credit in the bank in terms of the this season. He saved us so many times, doing brilliant saves. But his all-round goalkeeping is poor. Aside from shot stopping, it's poor. And when you see Vicario not doing the basics as a goalkeeper, not putting the ball into row Z, or tapping the ball out, in a dangerous situation, and trying to pump the ball up down the left hand side to make a move happen when he hasn't got a clue where any of the players are, and that was evident by the way that he tried to get rid of the ball, is madness. And then he's got the audacity to, turn around once the goal's gone in and whinge and complain, and that is absolutely his worst characteristic. Fine, chastise the players when they do bad, but don't just chastise them when it's your fault. You've got to take responsibility, and I think he's so immature in that respect. And I'm really starting to think now we need to really reassess this goalkeeping situation, and maybe that is an area we need to focus on going forward. At Spurs, we've been lucky. We've always had great goalkeepers. Lloris being the recent one. Paul Robinson. I mean, even goalkeepers like Casey Keller, I think when he was here, and Sullivan, and keepers like that, I think are better overall goalkeepers than Vicario. So yeah, it's I'm not impressed with Vicario. Sometimes he does these amazing saves that keeps you in the game, and you think, "Wow, that's excellent." And other times he just completely loses his head or makes a stupid mistake, which costs us goal. And it reminds me a little bit of Gomez, to be honest with you, and that's not really a long term solution for us. So an awful second goal to concede. I mean, what else is there to say about that first half? The stat that was going around was that we had 0.01 xg in that first half. We didn't look like we were going to even shoot on goal at one point, let alone create anything going forward. To me, players were just regressing. Kudus had an awful first half. Porro should have been subbed off immediately. Bergval, poor. Gray, poor. To be fair, even Paulinho didn't do much. He didn't do. I don't think he made any standout errors that I could see aside from the first goal, from a positional sense, and getting involved and showing out the danger. But none of the team done well in that first half. And when we came out for the second half, to see no changes, the two things ran in my mind. That Frank either gave them the rocket and sent them out there and said, "You've got to right your wrongs," or he's just tactically clueless, and he should have made the changes that he did made later on in the second half earlier. If I was going to pick positives from that second half, is that whilst Bergvall had a really poor first half, he is a busy player. He does get around the pitch. He's not scared to show himself up for the ball and get the ball and try and do something. And when he does play in his more natural position, which is the midfield, I guess, or the centre of the park, and he's got a bit of time, he can pull off a good pass here and there or a move. But he's got a long way to go as an individual player to really make the difference we need right now. In that second half, up until Kudus scored his goal, he was poor. Nothing really worked for him, and fine, his goal was brilliant. It was a good pass over the top by Bergvall onto Kudus, and he rifled it in the top right hand corner. I don't think any goalkeeper would have saved that with the speed of the shot. And then Kudus really woke up and he started really influencing the game. But up until that point, his performance was poor, and I think that's reflective of the whole team. For some reason, the whole team is low on confidence. Now, are they low on confidence because they're disappointed individually, or are they low on confidence because they don't really believe in what the manager or the coaching staff are telling them? Or are they sulking that the results aren't going their way? Whatever is wrong with them, they need to shape up quickly, because the results are just completely going the wrong way. We should not be losing at home to Fulham. Other standouts in the second half for me, I think Mawani again was busy. He looked fitter. He was getting involved. He was trying to make things happen. But there's just a lack of. Sometimes as a striker or attacking midfielder, you've got to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make things happen if things aren't happening around you. And Prime Son used to do that, and Prime Kane used to do that. And when we had all of the good players of the past, like Eriksen's and the Dele Allis, etc. And we're not really seeing that, certainly from Xavi when he came on. He had a couple of good touches, but nothing special. And Odegaard, I don't see why he even came on the pitch. He did nothing. Richarlison went back to default Richarlison. And ultimately, the team is suffering for the same reasons that they've suffered in the last half a dozen or so games. It's defensively weak, no potency when we're going forward, no courage of their convictions, no players grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and showing quality on the ball. I don't know, guys. Comment down below on what you think on obviously on the current situation with Frank and how we're playing. But to me, at the moment, with the way things stand, is this much better than what we were seeing under Ange in terms of like results and goals conceded? I mean, we're scoring less statistically now than we were under Ange. There's talk of us being more solid. I'm not sure that is the case. I'm saying I'm not sure because just look at the amount of goals we've shipped. And one of the stats on the commentary was that Frank has lost 10 out of the last 17 home games for Tottenham and Brentford. Now it will be 11 after 18 games that he's lost. That's a horrific record for any manager. So I'm not impressed. I'm not happy. I guess because I'm analysing the game, I'm probably a little bit less animated than what I normally would be on the state of Tottenham and my feelings towards the manager, the players, our transfer policy, the board. It's a shit show. And until we start acting like a big club and bring in quality players and a quality manager and really back them, I'm not sure where we're heading at the moment. I'm not calling for Frank out. I think he does need time, but there's a lot of things that need to change around Tottenham Hotspur and the way things are done for this ship to turn around. So that's me. That's my match reaction. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. Hit the like button. Comment down below if you disagree with me on anything, and we'll try and respond as best as we can.